I'd like this morning to talk about Paul's letter to the Philippians. Philippians is one of my favorite books of Scripture. To set up the story, Paul started the church at Philippi on one of his missionary journeys. And he is now in Rome in prison. And he gets this news that the church at Philippi, the Philippians, are wrestling with a question. And the question is, Paul, how can you are such a gifted evangelist, how can God allow you to stay in prison for so long? Why doesn't he just pick you up out of there, put you over here so you can start another church? And so Paul writes this letter back. And in verse 12, he writes this: I want you to know, dear brothers, that what has happened to me has really served to advance the gospel. Now, I know that we're not in prison. No, I won't even go there. I know we're not in prison. But isn't the question that the Philippians are wrestling with the same one that we wrestle with today? God, if you are so good, if you're such a loving God, why is my life so horrible? God, if you care about me, why are my kids so screwed up? God, if you really love me, why does my wife have cancer? God, why cerebral palsy? Paul writes and he says, that's not the right question. He says, I want you to know that because of who I am, because of where I am, the gospel is spreading. I believe today that the church is guilty of believing in some really, really bad theology. I don't mean this church, I mean the church as a whole. And it goes something like this. It's that Jesus Christ died on the cross to forgive me of my sins, that I would no longer have to struggle. Now, doesn't that almost sound biblical? The problem is it's not true. Christ died to forgive me of my sins. He's done that. But to say that Christ died to forgive me of my sins, that I can be healthy, wealthy, and wise, that's just not biblical. In fact, it's blasphemous. Let's get this. We're being taught that Jesus died on the cross so I can have more money. I don't think so. Jesus died on the cross that my sins are forgiven.